just been looking at some of the issues around how providers, whether you're a FE college or a training provider, positions yourself in a new market for apprenticeships. You know, we've got levy paying and non-levy paying employers trying to find their way through a new system. We've got a new range of apprenticeship standards replacing frameworks. So maybe this is a good time for you as a provider to sit down and say, well, what is it we're trying to do? What position do we want in the market? What's our brand? What sort of values are we are adding to those employers and their apprentices? So there's three things we've been looking at recently. Those three things I think guide and can guide you towards maybe a more effective position in the apprenticeship market. And they're all to do with your brand. And a brand isn't a logo, it's not a strapline, it's a lot more than that. Those three things I think you can sum up as positioning, values, and personality. What I mean by positioning is, what's that unique place in people's minds, particularly the minds of employers that are going to be purchasing your apprenticeship offer, your training and your assessment, that we want to sort of seek to own in their minds. So do we want to be the Audi of the apprenticeship market, or the VW, or the Seat? And I think we've got to get some clarity about what our position in the market is. And if we want to be in all of those markets, offering very high value apprenticeship standards, as well as the more common and more popular frameworks, then I think we've got to understand that for each one of those, we might have to position ourselves in different ways. The second thing we want to look at are the values. Those are really the fundamental principles and accepted standards that drive the way that we behave as a provider and brings the brand to life. And here it's important to make sure that all of your people in your organisation understand and share those values. What are those values? They could be, well, let's be responsive. We can be flexible in responses to those employer needs and the needs of their apprentices. We can be innovative. We can be really caring and supportive in developing that business and supporting it towards some improvement in its productivity and its efficiency. And the third thing that really, I think, underpins this is your personality as a brand, as a provider, the way in which you interact with those markets, particularly if you're interacting with large levy-paying employers. What kind of communication systems do you want? How do you want to send over those messages? What sort of media do you want to use? But most importantly, what's your tone of voice? Is this about being supportive, friendly, helping, or is it about just offering something, take it off the shelf? And I think those are three sort of things. And those three things together, I think, can make the big difference in the future. So hopefully the series of webinars that we've been doing on branding and marketing will help to do that. We've been doing these webinars with a range of providers, FE colleges, we've been doing with training providers, local authority providers, some of them very small, some quite large. Some of them are still working as subcontractors, some are primes in their own accord. So it's been a fair range of people that have been attending. I think we've been very lucky at e-Memoir to be working with Jeff Barnsley, who's had a long experience in the branding and marketing industry, working with some very large customers as well as clients from the third sector, clients within the public sector. So well experienced Jeff, and he's been helping to not only prepare these webinars and contextualize them for the needs of, for example, the apprenticeship market, but also been helping to deliver them. And those webinars have gone down really well. His wealth of knowledge in that sector have certainly added to our wealth of knowledge of working as not only as providers, but as consultants in this market. I think one of the key things that we've been trying to emphasize is that things are not the same. The nature of the apprenticeship market has changed, not just through the levy, but through the range of products that now make up the apprenticeship offer, most notably moving from frameworks, which a lot of employers understand really well, towards standards, and in particular the standards that include now much more emphasis on teaching and learning, on endpoint assessment. So I think with new products and new markets, this is the opportune point or time for a provider to review their position in the market, the brand values, and as I said, the way they communicate them. But what's most critical is that all the staff that work in that training provider have got to be involved in bringing that brand to life, from the reception staff, the student services staff, the workplace assessors, those people that are going to deliver English and maths, and those people that obviously relate and engage with employers in meeting their needs. So it's going to be a whole organisation approach.